Good evening and welcome to the 12th meeting of the 14th Council of the Town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay. I'd like to call for adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs, seconded by Councillor Laurie Dyson. Any discussion on the agenda? Okay, none heard. Call for a vote. All in favor of the agenda?
Aye.
Aye. None against. Motion carried. Okay, so we'll move into delegations. We have one delegate here today, Holly Callahan. Denise, or Councillor Rumble, will read out the policy with respect to delegations. And before we go any further, this is an issue that I would be in a conflict with, and I will remove myself from the delegation discussion and hand the gavel to the Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor.
Hold on one second.
Mayor, there's no discussion with the delegation?
Okay, so I don't need to remove
So
myself?
you don't need to remove yourself now. Okay.
Okay, good enough. Makes it easier.
Not yet, anyway.
Makes it easier. Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Are you
so
ready?
Councillor?
Ready for me?
Thank you.
Okay. On the fourth Tuesday of each month, during our regular scheduled council meeting, the council chamber gallery is open to the public, and resident engagement and participation in the form of delegations is encouraged. In consideration for the length of council meetings, the mayor and council retain the right to limit the number of delegate presentations during a single council meeting. Delegations have 10 minutes to present their concerns, with written requests for detailed matters encouraged. Delegates may speak to one topic only per meeting and may only appear before council once on the same subject. Following the presentation, the mayor and council members may ask questions or make comments on the information presented, but will not engage in debate. No delegations will be considered on topics such as human resources, labor relations, legal matters, or any topic that is not within the legislative authority of the municipality. The 14th Council respects our constituents' rights to present their issues or concerns. In accordance with policies A0018, A0041, and A0043, the Town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay operates a respectful workplace, and all presenters and members of the public are reminded that any abusive or threatening behavior towards town employees or council will result in removal from the premises. Thank you and welcome to our meeting.
Okay, thank you, Councillor. And Ms. Callahan, the floor is yours.
Good evening. My name is Holly Callahan, and I'm speaking as a delegate for a discretionary land application for 41 Montagnes Road to construct a fourplex apartment structure. For general knowledge to the public, a discretionary land application, detailed letter to the council explaining the intent of the project, a sketch drawing of a proposal plex unit, and a list of residential neighborhood support for the construction of the fourplex has been provided to council to consider when making their final decision on our application. Happy Valley-Goose Bay has proudly been referred to as a hub of Labrador. Our town has been blessed with the hard work and commitment of many organizations, such as the Housing and the Homeless Coalition, which work to provide many services to our town, to include newly constructed apartment units for senior living with rent controls. Key asset organizations which provide services for children at risk have been invited into our neighborhoods through private property rentals and a shelter for the homeless, of course. However, there is a key demographic that is crucial to the success of this town, and it is the working class. If the vision of this town is to continue to grow and develop its resources in preparation for the larger scale future developments that are now on our horizon, then housing developments are crucial for this town, for local businesses, contractors, education, and healthcare systems. If there is no adequate housing, then this town simply does not grow. Businesses can't grow, and nor can education. Housing is not just about building walls. It's about creating a stable foundation that supports social and economic growth. Increased housing provides increased property taxes to towns, which in turn provide needed infrastructure and amenities. This fourplex will be a new construction. It will be compliant of all building codes and permits deemed by the town and adhere to. Developments such as 3, 4, 6, 8 plexes are not new, and they are not uncommon to our town, as many exist throughout the town now on existing streets and neighborhoods. The town councils over the years have passed many motions for such developments and approvals for land variances to accommodate plex developments, which are cited in various minutes of town council meetings. I view these past motions and/or approvals as positive. This is a positive interaction between the town, property owners, and developers. This clearly shows that the town councils have understood that housing is the cornerstone for economic development and social stability, and the need to work together is crucial on a path forward. Understanding the importance of community and the opinions of the citizens, as referenced in motion 2025-1012, which states, "The opinions of the citizens living in this area must be addressed in applying for discretionary land use." Totally agree. In following that motion, I and my husband went door to door to the residents that live on that desired street to discuss what our building intent was. We explained that this fourplex unit would be for working professionals, and we provided lots of thanks back from the residents. We do understand that a previous plex development on a neighboring street has been turned down in the past. As I view, this is not the case for us, as we have had lots of positive feedback from the people in that neighborhood. Of 60 properties that are located on Montagnus, the following breakdown I'll provide. 49 of the 60 properties have been visited for a total of 67 residents. 46 of the 49 properties are in favor of a fourplex development for professional working individuals. One property owner is not in favor. One property owner had no concerns, but due to a potential personal conflict, he chose not to sign. And one property owner, happy to have the information, glad that we took the time to talk to him, but not interested in signing. So in total, we have support of 49 of 60 listed property owners in favor. I feel we have provided the council with adequate and supportive documentation which should be taken into consideration when viewing this application. In closing, I would like to remind the council of the following media release issued by the town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay on March 13. It states, "The town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay will continue working to ensure the community is ready for increased activity at 5 Wing, including advocating for housing, municipal infrastructure, workforce development, and support of local business." Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Callahan. So that's it for our delegations. We'll move right on to correspondence. And council had a chance, there was some extra correspondence added, I believe, this morning. Council has a chance to read that. I think you may have seen most of it anyway, but there might be some stuff that come in. So we'll move on to item 4, adoption of previous minutes. Call for a motion to adopt the 10th meeting, or 10th council minutes, February 24, 2026.
Motion.
Moved by Councillor Lori Dyson. Do we have a seconder?
I'll second.
Seconded by Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs. Any discussion on the minutes of February 24th? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor of the minutes?
Aye.
None against? Carried. The 11th council minutes, March the 4th, 2026. Call for a motion to accept those minutes. Councillor Lori Dyson, seconded by Councillor Odell. Any discussion? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, committee of the whole for reference only. I'm not sure why that's on the agenda, but it's there. So we move into finance, administration, and policy, and I would ask for Councillor Rumble to bring forward the report from that department, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Finance, admin, and policy items were discussed during our committee of a whole meeting. At that time, we discussed the possibility of Valley-Goose Bay becoming a host community for the urban municipalities meetings, and I will have a recommendation to follow on that. We also had 2 donation requests and 1 sponsorship request, which will have recommendations to follow, as well as several property tax and business tax plus interest on property tax exemption requests. There were a large number discussed at our committee of a whole meeting. Many of those will come forward tonight as recommendations. However, some are being put on hold at this time and will not come forward until a later date. We also had our managers' reports presented to us, and our Director of Corporate Services, Mr. Malik, informed us in his report that they are presently preparing for the maternity leave, I guess, of our current SAT, which will leave a small gap in the finance team until they are able to fill that leave replacement. But the team has been doing well in the finance, admin, and policy area. Town taxes have been issued to all residents. Everybody should have received their town taxes in the mail. On this month's report, we do not yet have any low-income property tax exemptions showing as processed at the time of the manager's report, but I'm sure that as people get their applications in, they will be forthcoming. I'm going to look at the CAO because I don't want to get this wrong. The discount date on property taxes. 31st? I think,
I think so.
okay.
I'd have to look at a tax bill for sure.
Yeah, and I just wanted to make sure, because calendar-wise, that is a weekday, that's not a weekend. But just to remind everybody that there has been a change that was due to the Towns and Local Service District Act change, that the discount date for that property tax discount, you must have your taxes paid by the 31st. So just a reminder to listeners that that is coming up. After we discussed our exemption requests and our donation requests, we concluded the portion of the Committee of the Whole for Finance, Admin, and Policy. So I'd like to ask that you accept my report as presented.
Okay, so moved.
Second that.
Hold on,
This one.
okay, seconded by Councillor Dyson. CAO, you had your hand up?
Yeah, just to Councillor Rumble's query on the tax bills. So the March 31st deadline is to avail of the 3% discount.
Yeah.
That is on property tax and business tax only, not on water and sewer. But the tax due date, where it must be paid in full, is June 30th.
Okay.
But if you send in a payment on April 1st, you're not going to get that 3% discount. So remember.
And that is a change from previous years. So I think we had that issue last year. That's why I wanted to make sure that we mentioned it today.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we have a seconder. Any discussion?
I got a question, Mayor. Just, can we get an update on the audit for 2025? When we think it might be completed?
I don't have a completed date. However, the auditor got the file yesterday
Okay.
for 2025.
Great.
Okay.
So it's looking good, at least before the end of April.
Good.
That's
Okay.
great. Okay. Anything else? Okay, we'll call for to accept the report. All in favor?
Aye.
None against? Report accepted. Okay, you have recommendations.
I have several. I'm going to start here with the one that's on a separate page. This one, I think, Mayor, I'm going to start here because you may want to remove yourself from the table. This is my,
Okay.
okay,
All right, I'll just,
so,
and I'll state
and
that
I'm-
the application involves my spouse.
okay. So the mayor has stepped away as he is in conflict on my first one, so I'm going to start there now. We have a donation request from Royal LePage Royal Masquerade Ball The Finance, Admin, and Policy Committee recommends that council deny the request at this time, as it does not meet the requirements of policy F0020. The request was not submitted through the formal application process. The required supporting information has not been provided, and the event does not appear to meet the 6-week submission timeline set out in the policy.
Would someone like to second that motion? Second by Councillor Williams. Any discussion?
I'll have a discussion. I'm not sure there's a place to bring it up or not, no different than what we did in 2025 for the RCMP ball. Is that still an option for this scenario as well?
This council's decision, yes.
Okay, so I think in 2025, no, I don't think, I know in 2025, we were approached the same, in the same fashion with the RCMP ball. We opted to buy 6 tickets at a cost of $450, which went towards the ball. And rather than donating, we purchased tickets, which was below the $500 threshold, and we could proceed that way. So is that something we can amend to this, or we can just do that, something offline, or? Go ahead. I'm done.
Sorry, I just wanted to speak to, I read the recommendation, but I didn't give any of the background on the briefing note. And this isn't an item that was discussed in our committee of the whole.
No.
So if you know, council's okay, I'm gonna go through a little bit of the briefing note. So the town has been approached by Royal LePage regarding support for the 6th Annual Royal Masquerade Ball, which is scheduled for April the 25th at the Royal Canadian Legion. The key considerations that staff looks at when they make a recommendation to council is, does it follow policy F0020? So the reason that this has come forward to us as a recommendation to deny is because it was not submitted on time, was not submitted following the application process, the supporting information was not provided, and it fell outside of the 6-week submission timeline. So again, this is something that we may want to revisit F0020 if we're sitting here today, and if, you know, somebody on council says, I think 6 weeks is too stringent, perhaps we should be able to consider within 4 weeks. But I think what we're voting on, if you wanted to propose a amendment to that motion, but I'm looking to the CAO because I think we would have to, do we have to defeat this one? Because it wouldn't be a friendly amendment.
Friendly amendment.
Is it a friendly amendment if it completely changes the tone? I thought a friendly amendment couldn't go from a deny to an approve. I thought a friendly amendment had to go from, say, we're changing it from 50 to 100. So you're gonna have to clarify that for me, because I thought in order to be a friendly amendment, it had to not change the intent of the motion.
So they're looking for a donation. So will it fall under a friendly amendment to change it from a request for a donation to an approval to buy 6 tickets? I'm not sure what the wording is for that.
So Councillor O'Dell has recommended a friendly amendment.
So would that cover that?
So perhaps, Councillor Rummel, you could just let us know what they were looking for? What they were asking for in
Okay,
their request?
so the request asks whether the town would be interested in supporting their fundraiser through the purchase of individual tickets at $75 per person, or a table of 10 for $700. So that was the request that came through. It's not that I'm opposed to a friendly amendment, I was always under the impression that a friendly amendment didn't change completely the intent of it, right? I didn't think, based on my knowledge of the municipal workings, that you could turn an approval to a denial or a denial to an approval and call it a friendly amendment. I was under the impression friendly amendment meant, so I had thought that the correct way to proceed would be, if this one was defeated, then a different motion could be made, but
I'm gonna ask the CAO to clarify for us.
Yeah, a friendly amendment is a proposed change intended to improve the motion. So to give more information to the motion, or to I'll say benefit it better, not to completely
Change it. So we can vote on this, and if this didn't pass, we could make another motion with a different
Yeah,
wording.
You'd have to submit for a motion to come from the floor,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Because basically, we don't want to change the policy, we just want to proceed with, I guess, a donation of some sort.
So we continue to vote on this one, and we bring another motion to the floor.
If
to-
this one does not pass,
Yeah.
somebody else can make a different
So,
amount.
Councilor Odell, you can make the motion after this
Yep.
recommendation of how you wanna bring forward.
Yep.
Okay, so,
The motion is to deny.
we had a seconder, Councilor Williams, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
To deny it.
To deny. And, Councilor Odell,
so
would you
I'll
like?
make a, I'll make a motion then to, proceed with a purchase of 6 tickets, at $75 per ticket at a cost of $450, to which the town, will, purchase and partake.
For the,
Sorry, did you say $450?
Yeah, so 6 tickets at $75 is $450, and that was with the threshold I think we discussed last year, with the RCMP ball. It fell under the $500 limit, we were able to do that, and without,
okay, so there's a motion on the floor, do we have a seconder?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Councilor Dyson. Any discussion? No discussion, all in favor? Oh, sorry.
We're buying 6 tickets, can we just make a motion, like donate to 450, or I know some councillors will not be going, some councillors will.
Yeah.
What would be the purpose of getting 6 tickets if we're not gonna use the 6 tickets?
I think the same as the last time. is
yeah,
all we've done
I
is-
think the 6 tickets are out there basically.
For council
For the
staff.
councillor
Council or
or
staff.
staff
Yeah.
to partake, or if there's no one there, then it's, staff and a spouse or council and a spouse. If someone, we'll just use up to 6 tickets just to, the discussion was last year with regards to why we purchased the tickets rather than just donate, and I think it made sense just to
To have
take.
representation.
Have representation there
at
as
the
well
event.
within the town, and to partake in the event for fundraising event as well. So it gets people out there, and it goes towards a good cause, and it makes sense just to, if you,
It's a good event.
it's either give $450 and not have anything, or purchase, excuse me, or purchase tickets and at least let someone avail of the tickets and the event.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Okay, I'll
Mayor
wait for-
Pomeroy, you can return to your seat.
Thanks, Dion.
You know, pass you back the gavel.
Okay.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
My next recommendation, the Urban Municipalities Committee host community, the Finance Administration and Policy Committee recommends that council support hosting one of the 4 in-person meetings for the Urban Municipalities Committee in 2027.
Okay, so moved. Do we have a seconder?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Councillor Winters. Any discussion? Maybe the CAO can give us a little bit of background. I know they meet in different communities throughout the year. And this year, I believe they're meeting in Port of Basque. And they're hoping to, they were here about 5 years ago, I believe. They held their meetings here? They've never held their UMC meeting?
It's
That
been
was the
a lot
mayor's,
longer.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, it's an annual meeting that's held for communities.
No, it's 4 meetings a year.
It's quarterly.
For communities under 3,000, right? Or over 3,000, okay, all right. I'll get it figured out yet.
So it is a quarterly meeting, I take it.
A quarterly meeting, 2
Health.
take place at the M&L Symposium and the AGM, and then there's 2 additional meetings that take place in different communities throughout the province.
Right,
Okay,
yeah.
so we were opting to be
We're,
one of them.
we're offering to host.
Yeah, okay.
We're offering the host.
Okay.
Okay. Any other discussion? None heard, call for a vote, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. None against, motion's carried. Okay, next one, please.
Okay, my next one is a donation request from the Labrador Hunting and Fishing Association. The Finance Administration and Policy Committee recommends approval of a donation of $2,000 to the Labrador Hunting and Fishing Association to aid with the grading of their main dock, parking lot, and launch area.
Okay, the motion's in order. We have a seconder?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs. Any discussion on this motion?
Is that an in-kind
Yeah.
donation? That's
No.
equipment.
No,
Oh, it's
cash.
not? Okay.
No, this would be
So-
a cash donation, from what I understand.
So that was a change then, because no?
No.
No,
The-
I think you might be confused with
Okay, the
another
other one was an in-kind one.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, CAO?
Yeah, if I remember going back to the committee of the whole, when the request came in, it was a request for either cash or in kind.
Right.
And council's determination into how that's gonna be. And with, speaking with our superintendent, felt that they wouldn't be able to necessarily commit to the work.
Okay.
So the decision was made to bring forward a recommendation for a contribution as opposed to in-kind services.
Okay, all right, thank you. Any other comments? Okay, call for a vote. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
None against, motion carried. Okay, next one, please.
Donation request, Moravian Church of Happy Valley. The Finance Administration and Policy Committee recommends we approve an in-kind donation of water and sewer line inspection to the Happy Valley Moravian Church, should it not interfere with the department's other projects at the time it is required by the church.
A second
Okay,
that.
so moved, seconded by Councillor Lori Dyson. Any comments? None? Okay, we'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Yep.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion's carried. Next one, please.
Property tax and interest tax, property tax and interest exemption per ID 275895 for 2022. The Finance Administration and Policy Committee recommends that council deny a property tax and interest exemption in the amount of $1,968.12 for the year 2022 for par ID 275895.
Okay, so moved. Do we have a seconder? Second by Councillor Winters. Any discussion?
Just to clarify, these next ones coming up, they're the nonprofits?
It's the,
Gonna bring up my packet, okay, you've got the package. That one is a, yeah, I don't know if this was the one that didn't have the income statement, so we did discuss this one in committee of the whole, and, what was your question, sorry?
Yeah.
I'm okay
Yeah.
with it now.
So
For the
it's-
next 5 or 6, it's the same one.
Yep.
it's the
Yeah,
one, what we
yeah.
discussed.
Same
at the-
per ID
Yeah,
for,
I'm just
yeah,
trying to, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, any other discussion? None heard, call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, none against?
Yes, I'm against.
Okay, thank you. Next one, property tax exemption.
Property tax and interest exemption, par ID 275895 for 2023. The Finance Admin and Policy Committee recommends that council deny a property tax and interest exemption in the amount of $1,815.66 for the tax year 2023 for par ID 275895.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Councillor Dyson. Any discussion? I just want to add, I mean, I know this is a not-for-profit group in our community that contributes a lot to our community. And, you know, I think we should be finding ways to help these people and this group. You know, if there's more information required, then, you know, maybe that information should be sought before we make final decisions. Because there's more information that there's information we don't have. And
We
so
have
their
everything that they
application,
provided.
what's that?
We have everything that they provided.
Yeah,
They-
but
They
the-
know what they need to provide.
They're
They have
they're
not
missing some
provided it.
financials that's required under the policy, and they haven't been provided. So, you know, they can come back with those financials at some other time and ask for an exemption at another point. I wouldn't want to dismiss it for lack of paperwork, but I understand that they have to follow the policy. And, but like, I've always been of the view, when you have a not-for-profit in the community that's helping to build our community, providing services that the town would never be able to provide on its own, that, you know, we try to find a way to make it work. And you're not going to get them all right. I know that our policy is there for a reason, and it's working for the most part, but there are some groups that will fall through the cracks. And the groups that seem to fall through the cracks are the ones that are adding infrastructure to our community. So that's where I struggle with that one.
And when it's not like they can't come back with the information that they haven't come forward
Absolutely.
with, and it could be revisited, so.
Yeah.
And the
yeah.
sad thing with this one, it keeps coming up. I mean, they
Yeah.
present to the council every year. So we need to find a way to work with them.
Yeah,
Is there
maybe we can have another discussion with them at some point, but I mean, we have a policy in place. All the information that was requested or that's required by the town was not provided, and therefore we cannot support the recommendation because we don't have all that information.
Yeah, so I guess with one question, I agree 100% that we should be helping out all these not-for-profits to the best of our ability as a town. And one thing is that, is there an opportunity to sit down with these not-for-profits to discuss some of these issues that they're having? Because basically, if the town is asking for information that they should have, I can't see where the disconnect is that this information can't be provided at some point in time, because, I mean, basically, we're saying we need this in order to move forward. If you're not willing to provide it, you know you're not providing this information, you're tying our hands, or you're tying the council's hands from making decisions based on the lack of information that you're providing to us. So
And that's
first of
exactly what's happening.
The
And this is
problem
what's
Okay, hold on.
is they don't think they
Mayor?
should have to pay property tax
Yeah,
Yeah.
at all.
Well, I mean, that's fine. So basically, we're saying this is what we require, and again, this is, I believe, if there's an opportunity to sit down and discuss with them, say, we have to have this for our purposes, because it puts everybody on the same playing field. If you're not willing to play ball, I'm sorry, you have the full entitlement to not-for-profit, options that fall under the, F0009 policy, but you have to play like everybody else with regards to council making a decision. So either we sit down and have a discussion with this individual group, explain to them what it is that we require, and I guess you guys are saying that this has been done in the past, maybe we'll do it one more time, and at the end of the day, say, just say, this is it,
okay.
this is what we need.
Any other comments? Okay, none heard. I call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? One against, Deputy Mayor. All right, next one.
Business tax and interest exemption, par ID 275895002 for 2023. The Finance Administration and Policy Committee recommends that council deny a business tax and interest exemption in the amount of $660.24 for the tax year 2023 for par ID 275895002.
Okay, so moved. Seconded by Councillor Dyson. Any discussion? Councillor Rumble.
Mayor, I just wanted to bring to the attention for this one, just to refer back to our committee of a whole. The difference between this one and the property tax and interest exemptions is we did have a very wholesome discussion in the committee of the whole that business tax, if we exempt business tax, it's something that, we have to, we either charge business tax for all businesses or we charge no business tax for any businesses. So just so that, we have that clear again, it was discussed.
There's no in
and-
between.
Yeah, it wasn't, this one isn't a discretionary type thing. It's everybody or nobody.
So so I guess going forward with regards to that, there will be no exemptions from business taxes. Is that what we're
Supposed to be.
saying? That's not what we're saying.
No.
No,
We're just,
We still have to vote on them.
we still have to vote on it.
yes. But if we decide to exempt business tax, if we decide not to charge business tax,
Yeah.
as some
Oh, so we can
of the
exempt- yeah.
requests have been worded, that we not charge business tax. In
Okay.
order for us to not charge business tax for one, we would have to not charge business tax to any.
But we can exempt business tax from, I'm still confused. So is it all or nothing with regards to business taxes? So when someone come forward and say we want an exemption on business and property taxes, does it have to be, we can do your property taxes but not your business taxes? Or we have the right to?
Okay, let me try to
I'll let
clarify.
the CAO
Okay.
explain that.
Okay.
I'll try to clarify. Under the Towns and Local Service Districts Act,
Yes,
council shall impose a property tax.
that means you have to.
Right.
Yeah.
council may impose a business tax.
Okay, we can't. if we
So
want to.
you can,
Yep.
or but you don't have to.
You don't have to.
So what Council Rumble is saying is
Yeah.
that, under that, if council chooses
To-
to do a business tax, it has to apply to all businesses as they're defined under the Act, which includes not-for-profits.
Right.
But if council decides we're not gonna charge business tax,
Mhm.
then nobody gets a business tax.
Right.
Grocery store, gas station, not-for-profit, professional, whatever.
Right.
Is that a little bit more clear?
That makes sense with regards to, do we charge business taxes or we don't charge business taxes? But if we get, but when I say, when we come to an exemption of business taxes, is that opening up the floodgates to say, well, you're exempting their business taxes, this should be across the board, it's either yes or no, all or nothing. So if we say no to this
No,
person.
not with the exempting part, with the
Okay.
charging part.
Charging,
Because
okay.
the original request was,
Yeah.
we don't feel we should be charged business tax.
Okay, yeah, okay.
And so that was just to clarify that.
Okay.
It's been charged because it has to be, we have
We
decided.
have to charge a business
Yes.
tax.
And
But
the-
people
And
can
that's why
apply for
council
exemptions.
has a policy then to allow for businesses, not-for-profits, whatever, to apply for
An exemption.
an exemption, and then council, based on all the information
Mm-hmm.
provided, council can decide whether or not they feel that they qualify.
To exempt
So
for.
council can do that under the exemption policy, but
Okay.
you can't just blanket say,
Yes, I got it.
All right.
Okay.
So I just wanted to add two important words that the CAO just used there, and we just learned this in one of our modules, shall and may.
yeah.
So,
All right, thank you. So we'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? For the record, Deputy Mayor against. All right, next one, please.
Okay, my next one is property tax and interest exemption, par ID 275895 for 2024. The Finance Administration and Policy Committee recommends that council deny a property tax and interest exemption in the amount of $1,799.28 for the tax year 2024 for par ID 275895.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Counselor Williams. Any discussion? Okay, none heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? One against, Deputy Mayor. Okay, next one.
Business tax and interest exemption par ID 275895002 for 2024. The Finance Administration and Policy Committee recommends that council deny a business tax and interest exemption in the amount of $599.76 for the tax year 2024 for par ID 275895002.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Counselor Dyson. Any discussion? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carried. Unanimous?
sorry,
Against?
yes.
Okay, for the record. All right, next one.
Property tax and interest exemption, par ID 275895 for 2025. The Finance Administration and Policy Committee recommends that council deny a property tax and interest exemption in the amount of $1,617.84 for the tax year 2025 for par ID 275895.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Counselor Williams. Any discussion? Okay, none heard. We'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? One against. For the record, Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs. Okay, next one, please.
Business tax and interest exemption, par ID 275895002 for 2025. The Finance Administration and Policy Committee recommends that council deny a business tax and interest exemption in the amount of $539.28 for the tax year 2025 for par ID 275895002.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Counselor Dyson. Any discussion? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Against? One against. Okay, next one, please.
Interest relief, par ID 262372. The Finance Administration and Policy Committee recommends that council approve interest relief for the tax year 2025 for par ID 262372 in the amount of $2,070.50 on the condition that the principal of $18,780.46 is paid in full.
Okay, so moved. Do we have a seconder?
I'll second.
Seconded by Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs. Any discussion?
I guess I have,
Councillor Odell?
yeah, so for me, I'm just looking at this, so we're willing to, he's gonna pay the, or not gonna say he, but the individual's gonna pay $18,780, but want to get a tax relief of $2,000. And so I'm struggling to say, well, if anybody going forward gets to a certain degree, they say, we're gonna give you some tax break with regards to this. Am I missing this something along the way?
This is-
Okay.
Some
Okay,
background
Deputy-
information.
Okay, Councillor Rumble?
It's, well, it's the
This one,
interest on it, yeah.
yeah,
so
this one was
basically-
discussed at length as well in our committee of a whole. So this was somebody that came in and availed of what we encourage residents to do, which is to sit down with the SAT, work out a payment plan. Financial hardship was, discussed. And so again, we really encourage residents to come in and work something out. And in this case, because they did, make an earnest attempt and come up with a plan, removing that interest amount still gets the principal paid.
Absolutely.
And then hopefully, this is an example to anybody who might be listening that is, finds themselves in a situation that they're not sure, they may not qualify for the low-income tax relief, but they need to work with our staff. It just, to me, it speaks volumes to the fact that you can come in, you can sit down, you can work something out.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Any other discussion? None heard or call for a vote. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. None against, motion carried. Next one, please.
Request for sponsorship.
I'm gonna declare
Yeah.
conflict, Mayor,
Okay.
because I'm on the board of the Mobile Status.
All right, Deputy Mayor clears a conflict, and we'll sit in the public gallery. Okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Request for sponsorship, Mokami Status of Women Council, Give to Gain. The Finance Administration and Policy Committee recommends that council approve a donation to Mokami Status of Women's Council for their Give to Gain event. I don't see an amount on here, but I feel like in my package it was $100. So I'm going to just reword that to read, the Finance Administration and Policy Committee recommends that council approve a donation of $100 to Mokami Status of Women for their Give to Gain event.
So moved, seconded by Councillor Dyson. No, any discussion? None heard, call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
None against, motion's carried. Okay, Deputy Mayor can return. Okay, thank you.
Property tax exemption, Power ID 257650. The Finance Administration and Policy Committee recommends that council approve 100% tax relief for property tax for 2026 for Power ID 257650.
Okay, so moved, seconded
I'll
by
second that.
Councillor Winters. Any discussion? Oh.
I'm sorry, Mayor, I need to read that again because I'm reading it without an amount. And the amount is, I'm reading off of the sheet and not off of our computer screen, so I apologize. The Finance Administration and Policy Committee recommends that council approve 100% tax relief for Power ID 257650 for 2026 in the amount of $5,947.20.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Councillor Winters. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Any discussion?
Yeah, just.
Councillor Winters?
I believe this looks like something that went through the policy of nonprofits.
Yeah.
And they meet all the criteria. They went through the process, done the application, submitted all their required information and availed of, and is due to the policy 100% exempt, right?
Correct, yeah.
Yep.
Any other discussion?
I just wanted to say this one I would fully support. It's a nonprofit organization, Libra House, and if they didn't get exempted, they would have to go out and fundraise money to pay this property tax, so I fully support this one.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to what the policy is all about. If you can afford it, you pay it. If you can't, you shouldn't.
Correct. Okay.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Okay, we'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
None against, the motion's carried. Next
Okay,
one.
my next and final, letter of support, Association of New Canadians. The Finance Administration and Policy Committee recommends council support the Association of New Canadians application with a letter of support.
Okay, motion's in order. Call for a seconder.
I'll second.
Seconded by Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
None against, motion's carried. Thank you, Councillor.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll move right along to, so I get through the pages of motions here. Move to Community Planning and Development, and Councillor Dyson, please.
Thank you, Mayor. The Community Planning and Development departments were quite busy. There was a lot of training, the climate adaptation and resilience training with the winter cohort with Climb Atlantic, the energy conscious training with Quest Canada, the equity action strategy with Track Consulting, the Shorefast Institute for Place-Based Economies webinar, and the public procurement framework training. Also, the collective bargaining preparation and small town virtuals roundtable with municipalities NL. The departments were busy with the Labrador Winter Games events, obviously. We also had the Special Olympics meet and greet with the Happy Valley-Goose Bay town for the Labrador Winter Games. There was quite a few proclamation signings over the month. Easter Seals, Canada Day, Heritage Week. Of course, we've also met with over the Towns in Tune with the city of Beaufort clerk that came to town. The social media has been quite active. We did the social media usage policy training, and there was a lot of work on the tourism accommodation tax as well. Margaret's been very busy with Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and of course our live streaming of all of our meetings. The Heritage Week, sharing the history with on Birch Island, the aviation, of course, with 5 Wing Goose Bay, with them days, and the mapping project on the website. There was also a meeting with representatives from the Office of Immigration and Multiculturalism. The work continues on the accessibility plan survey, regular tasks with the website updates, lots of PSAs, lots of social media engagement, of course. Document uploads has been constant. With regards to the planning department, there was an influx of Crown land applications, lots of resident inquiries as well. Of course, one of the busy ones is the tourism accommodation tax. I have several recommendations as well, but I ask that you accept this report as read.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Councillor Williams. Any discussion on the report? Okay, none heard. We'll call for a vote on to accept the report. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None against? Carried. You have recommendations. I believe the first one there, I'm going to remove myself because of a conflict. There are 2 councillors that are there. Did you want to do those back to back?
That would be...
That would be E and A.
A and E, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can do those.
Okay,
those
I'll
two
remove
first.
myself and again hand the gavel over to the Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. So the mayor is going to sit in the gallery, and when you're ready, Councilor Dyson.
Okay, the first recommendation is the Crown Lands application 165165. The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends council provide no objection to Crown Lands application 165165, located at 8696 Court Real Road, on the condition that future development complies with the town's development regulations.
Okay, the motion, do we have a seconder? Second by Councilor Williams. Any discussion?
That's the one we discussed, was just a transfer from a farming to a commercial,
The grant, yeah.
or, yeah, okay. So it's basically just a transfer of what the description of that property is, okay.
Okay, no further discussion, call for a vote, all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
And the second one, for,
Councillor Dyson, before you proceed with the second one, I'm gonna ask the council if they feel that I'm in a conflict.
this
No,
is,
you're going with E.
yeah,
She's doing, this is not the next one. This
I
is-
know, she knows.
This
Yeah,
is what?
She knows. This one is to do with 47 Montagnus.
41.
41 Montagnus, sorry.
So I'm gonna ask the council if you feel I'm in a conflict.
I don't feel that the deputy mayor is in conflict.
Okay,
be
hang
a
on,
reason?
before I do that, I gotta pass the gavel.
Well, you also have to explain why you may be in conflict for council to consider it.
Okay, so I want you to consider if I'm in conflict, because my mother lives on that street. I don't live anywhere near it, but my mother lives there. So,
I'm going to say that I don't feel that you are in a conflict, and
You gotta wait till she steps away.
Oh.
okay,
So who's
so
giving the
I'm gonna
gavel now?
pass the gavel to Councillor Dyson.
is that all right
I
for me
can
to
still
speak to
sit
it?
here because they can vote on it.
Can I say something to them?
Everyone can say something, but, sorry, you have to leave while they vote on whether or not you're in conflict.
Okay,
Okay.
whether or not I am,
Okay. Personally, I don't feel that the deputy mayor is in a conflict. Reason being that we went through this several months ago, and because the same thing happened down in the housing area that I'm in, and when I contacted the province, they informed me that anybody living within the municipality has the right to have input into anything in any part of their community when it's pertaining to zoning or discretionary land use. You have a right to have a say. You don't have to live on the street to have a say. So that's why I don't feel that she's in a conflict.
Can I get clarification from the CEO whether what the grounds of what Councillor or Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs said is the reason why, does that fall under the conflict rules?
That's for council to determine.
Because I guess the only.
Hang on a second.
Sorry.
Sorry. So this one is very gray, to say the least, and I'm going to refer back to Councillor Winters for an example. Councillor Winters was determined to be in a conflict when there was a vote regarding a development in a neighborhood that his brother was a property owner on. And in that case, we had contacted municipalities. So this is why it's gray, because you're saying that you had an example where they said one thing. With another thing, we looked at the development of a playground in a neighborhood, and they declared that Councillor Winters, or we were given the advice from municipalities that because there could be a perceived conflict, being that your judgment may, whether or not you are able to vote impartially or not, we have to take into consideration if you are perceived to have bias. So it's one thing to say, so somebody may say, whether I think, Deputy Mayor would be completely impartial or not is not what's at question, as much as could somebody perceive that the judgment could not be impartial. So I think we need to look at the overall picture of, are we safer to say, you know what, let's not get into the gray or into the mud and say that, yeah, you know what, you would be considered to be in conflict because the perception of somebody coming back and saying, I feel like you were not able to vote impartially. So this is just my input, is as far as perceived bias versus, I feel like there's lots of things that we can all keep impartial and level-headed about, but perceived conflict is something we have to consider as well.
Can we talk to our town engineer about that, because what we're referring to with Councillor Winters in the past was a development in that area, whereas this is a discretionary land use application, right? What's the difference in that? Randy? You shine any light on that?
I really can't, I think it's more of a local government issue.
Yeah,
it's
I don't think it had to do with the
It's not
type
an
of
engineering.
zoning. It was about the perception of bias, right? It's not about what kind of application it is. It's about, did the general public think that Councillor Winters could vote without bias when he had an immediate family member in the area?
And I just, to expand on that, is that there's one piece to have an opinion on something, but this is the council that's gonna vote on it. So Deputy Mayor may have an opinion on whether she wanted something to proceed or not, which is fine, but to sit down at the table and then vote on that same issue is the difference. So I think that's where we have to be the gray area, where it can be an actual conflict of interest, because again, she could be for or against something outside of these walls, but when we sit down and the 7 members of council is making that decision, it falls on 7 people. So now, if she's for or against it, for something that she may or may not want, that's one vote there.
So
It's
is there,
perceived, then there becomes, and like I said, it's a perceived conflict of interest, not from in here, because we can say, no, I think she's voting in the right direction, but perceived, which means outside on the rest of the community and residents saying, oh, these individuals are voting because they didn't want it anyways, or they did want it. So that's the struggle, because now it's perceived, concepts of or consciousness of the residents now that we're struggling with. So it's a tough. So basically, we say, do we want to walk down that path, or are we good with allowing this to proceed? Because on the other side of the coin, if you were in conflict, and then she's in conflict, and I'm living on the street next to it, am I now in conflict?
yeah,
Because now, if it's an adjacent road to myself, or a parallel road to me, do they put me in conflict of interest based on this?
bordering your property.
Yeah.
I know, I
Size
know.
says it all.
Well, again, I think it goes back to like Councillor Rumpel said, is it gonna be perceived conflict? And this basically is like not saying it, but that's the question at hand, is,
Yeah.
Right.
is will the community perceive this as conflict?
Right. Councillor Dyson is correct. Everybody in the municipality has a right to have an opinion on, development in their municipality, no matter where. If I live on Elizabeth Avenue and I have an opinion about a development on Woodland, and I pick those 2 streets because they're the farthest apart,
So-
it is fine. It's just that
You're voting.
when we're looking at, is somebody in a conflict, we're not just looking about, do you fit in this? Could there be a perception where something could be questioned?
So we have to decide whether or
Yep.
not we feel that Councillor Compton, Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs is in a conflict.
Right.
So do
So
we,
you can call for a vote.
So with and again, we have to look at past practice. So, and in past practice, yeah.
so we'll call for, I guess I just call for a vote.
Yeah.
For anybody feel that Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs is in a conflict?
I do.
I think it's better to be on the safe side.
3, all those who don't believe?
So now
So now we have to go back.
now we have to go to me,
So,
because now if I have to ask the council, do you believe that I'm in conflict of interest based on the same scenario with regards to the proposed development and my residence?
well, then we're back in square one again. You feel that you're in a conflict for the same reason,
So your property is adjacent,
Well,
correct?
border,
yeah, well, it's-
behind them.
Okay.
So who feels that Councillor Odell is in a conflict?
We can't do that with him at the table.
Oh, shoot.
However,
Okay.
Councillor Compton Hobbs can come back.
What about Mayor Pomeroy? Can he come back while we're, no, not at all,
No.
right? Okay.
Because he didn't ask council to determine if he was in conflict.
Right,
He just
okay, fair.
declared conflict.
Okay, so she can assume,
Take the gavel.
she can assume the gavel again, right?
I can take the gavel now, right? Okay, so the question on the floor is, do we think Councillor Odell is in conflict with this next recommendation? His property is directly behind this location, so I'm gonna call for a vote. Do we think Councillor Odell is in a conflict?
Three to two?
And who's against? Councillor
I can give a reason why. I just think he's not on the street and it's,
Again, with me, it's the
So-
perceived conflict.
So
Yes,
it
is he
is,
conflict?
it has been passed that he is in conflict.
Okay.
So,
so.
both of us are in conflict, so I'll have to pass it back to you, correct, CAO?
Okay, so now we're back to square zero. Okay, so the Community Planning Development Committee recommends council deny the fourplex residential housing application at 41 Montagnus, taking into consideration the surrounding urban context and public concerns. So that's the motion on the table. Is there a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Williams. So this is, the recommendation is to deny. All in favor of
Right.
denying?
Discussion?
Oh, sorry. Any discussion? Go ahead.
I took a lot of time to think about this, and I support the need for additional housing, so I wrote it down, just so you know, I'm reading off of it. I do support the need for additional housing in our community. However, I do not believe a fourplex is appropriate for the area. Continuing to approve fourplexes alter neighborhood character over time. A duplex is more consistent, while still contributing to housing supply. But further to this, I want to be very clear on this point. I want to speak about how the application was framed, because I do have concerns. There's a reference to the type of tenants that would or would not occupy these units. I think it's important that we're careful about how these conversations are happening. Decisions around our development shouldn't be influenced by assumptions about who is considered an appropriate resident of any neighborhood. So from my perspective, these considerations are outside the scope of what we should be evaluating. Our role is to focus on land use, density, planning, and overall community impact, not on the perceived characteristics of potential tenants. I'd also like to note that there's no practical or enforceable way to control who occupies these units over time. Ownership and tenancy change, so these types of assurances don't meaningfully inform the decision. And I also just want to say a final point on that. I think it's important that we ground our discussions in planning principles and ensure that the approach we take reflects fairness and consistency for all residents in our community.
Thank you, Jill. Councillor Rumble.
I will be voting against the motion, so I will be voting against the motion to deny, but that is not then translated into an approval. So the reason I will be voting against the motion to deny is based simply on numbers. So we had a previous request for a neighborhood where it was overwhelmingly that the neighborhood did not support the development. In this case, we have the complete opposite. So we have 46 signatures that are supporting the development compared to 4 that are not supporting the development. For me, it's a numbers game. If 46 people who live on that street say we're perfectly fine with this, I am here to, do what's best for the will of the people. And so for this reason, I will vote against denying the application. But again, it's kind of, you can't turn a vote against into a vote against denying does not automatically become a vote to approve. So I'm not sure where this will end up, but I'm speaking as being against the motion.
Can I ask you, you had said, you had some numbers there. Did you look at the opposition in your package?
Yeah, 4. I had 4 in my package.
Oh, I've seen more than 4.
And 46 that were, I only saw 4. Why did I see 4? 1, 2, where's the briefing note there, Jill? Okay, oh, sorry, it says, can you go up a little bit more?
Oh, down, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, down, keep going.
Yeah.
Okay, it says recommendation, oh my God, I can't even see. I had 4, Counselor Dyson, I don't know, did anybody have more than 4 in
In the package,
opposition? Yeah.
we've got, in the package, there's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
It was 3 letters and 1 phone call?
Yes.
Is that what it?
Yeah, that's right.
3 letters and 1 phone call opposed, and we had 46 supportive.
Was there more information on that? Nadine, what did, I can't even, I can't open this thing.
I've got it open here now, there's
The
the
briefing
email.
note does state that there were 4
Email, there's 1,
responses
2,
received.
3, 4. I guess what you're talking about, Councillor Dyson, I don't know if you're talking about the original canvas when the applicants made the canvas, there were,
46.
yeah, I don't know if that's what you're talking about, maybe.
Yeah.
Council, when the notice went out, it said all input is public information will be considered by council when the decision is made about the application. Written comments must be received by the town prior to March 16th, 2026. I know staff only received the results of the petition and the canvassing this afternoon. It was well beyond the actual deadline that was in the public advertisement, so it was not in the briefing note. So staff did not consider the results of the canvassing by the applicant.
Okay.
Also, can I ask a question, is like, we see 3 emails here, but do we know who they came from? Because they are bringing, like, things like concerns related to past records of the applicant is not good enough.
Yes, we do know who submitted the emails. They're not noted by name in the briefing note.
No.
It can't be released under A2.
Yeah.
Okay, but, well, I'm
But
just.
staff knows.
from-
Staff knows,
Staff
we did
knows.
receive,
But we're not
Yes.
allowed to know. Council.
right.
All right.
So staff's recommendation to deny was based on the input that they received up until the date.
So, well,
Yes, Councillor, it was,
yeah. and
we had the
and
4.
the question I got is when we're saying deny the fourplex based on taking into consideration the surrounding urban context and public concerns, yet we have 40-some-odd people saying they approve or
Support.
are in favor of this, and we have 4 against. I mean, where does staff come up with that analogy of objection?
Well,
So
staff
Nadine-
didn't.
The engineer just stated that the timeline to present concerns to the town
Okay,
was between March the 9th and the 16th.
yeah,
The petition from the applicant was, I think,
okay,
sent to
okay, I got it,
council
understand.
on Friday the 20th.
Yep.
And it was provided
Past the
to
deadline.
me on the 23rd, and I provided it
Okay,
today on the 24th. So it
Alright.
came in past the deadline, so therefore it was not incorporated into the
yeah, 'cause
responses.
I know we received the email with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the date of that?
20th?
And that's after Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
So
on the 20th,
that
yeah.
information was not sent in by the submission deadline
Okay,
to the appropriate contact.
gotcha.
But we can consider that in
Our
our
decision-making
decision-making,
process,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah, because that was
That's up
part
to
of what my
council.
decision was.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's up to council, because that did not come through the proper
Yeah,
channels.
and the motion on the floor is to deny. So all we
Yeah.
can do, even if we all vote a certain way, it's either deny or, again, like Councilor Rumble said, they can come back.
A question to the CAO, can you clarify a bit where the province stands on supporting documents for or against a discretionary land use?
They don't speak to that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that goes back to the same reasoning
They
of,
send it back to the
to the Cartwright,
municipality.
Cartwright Road one, right? So,
Okay.
all right, I'm done with my question.
All right, so we'll go back to it again. The Community Planning Development Committee recommends council deny the fourplex residential housing application at 41 Montagnus, taking into consideration the surrounding urban context and public concerns. It was moved and seconded by Jill. All in favor of the motion? Not in favor? So where does that leave us?
In the event of a tie, a motion is defeated,
In the event of a tie, a motion is defeated.
according to the Towns and Local Service District.
According to our rules of procedure.
Yeah,
too.
well,
Yeah,
so you just say motion defeated, bang your gavel, and we move on?
yeah.
Motion defeated. So,
Can I ask for a 5-minute recess, please?
okay, we're gonna take a 5-minute recess. So she gonna go offline or is she gonna stay online and,
She's gonna put it on hold while we take a recess,
okay.
and
Okay.
Good to go?
Good to go.
Okay, so I'll carry on with the third recommendation. The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends council approve the home-based business application at 5 Campbell Street to operate a home-based business for lash extension and waxing service called House of Lash Limited, subject to compliance with all the town regulations and conditions and provincial and/or federal legislation as applicable.
Okay, so moved. We have a seconder. Seconded by Councillor Winters. Any discussion on this motion?
So this is not
Councillor
going to
Odell?
increase, so this is not going to increase volume of traffic on 5 Campbell Street because this is a home-based business that'll.
No, that was already discussed in
Okay.
committee of the whole.
Okay.
Okay. Any other discussion? None heard. Call for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? None against. Motion carried. Okay, next one, please.
The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends council provide no objection to Crown Lands application 165184 located at 2 Elizabeth Avenue on the condition that future development complies with the town development regulations.
So moved. Seconded by Councillor Rumbold. Any discussion? None being heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
None against? Okay, the motion's carried. Next one, please.
The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends council approve the home-based application located at 23 White Crescent to operate an online home-based business selling gifts and accessories called Just Gifts by RMJ, subject to compliance with all the town's regulations and conditions and provincial and/or federal legislation as applicable.
Okay, so moved. Seconded by Councillor Williams. Any discussion? Okay, Councillor, go ahead, Councillor Rumbold.
Just to clarify, Mayor, this one was discussed in committee of the whole, correct, Councillor Dyson? And
Yeah.
at that point, we had asked a lot of questions, and I think staff did some homework, went to our planner, and came back with a different recommendation that was discussed in committee of the whole, correct?
That's right.
And so I guess my comment would be that, you know, this is why we ask a million questions sometimes, and this is why things can have a different recommendation coming forward than what may have been previously discussed. But also, again, I said it in the committee of the whole, and I want to say it again, I think when people take the time to actually fill out home-based business applications and they want to be registered, it's so good to see, because we have encouraged it and we want to try to work with residents to ensure that everything is done above board and legal, and this is, you know, a great outcome if we're able to pass this.
Okay. Any other discussion? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None against? Motion carried.
The next one, the Community Planning and Development Committee recommends council provide no objection to Crown Lands application 165149 located at 214 Kellen Drive with the following comments to Crown Lands. 1, future development complies with the town development regulations. 2, no objection does not imply that the town approves the proposed development as indicated in the application for Crown Lands, and that all access, egress requirements and conditions in a Service NL plan review will be considered in a building permit development application, as well as any other necessary development requirements.
Okay, so moved. We have a seconder. Seconded by Councillor Winters. Any discussion? None heard. I just want to make a comment that this piece of property has been, I guess, has come before council several times, and for Crown Lands applications, and I'm glad that we found a way to make this work, and hopefully it's, you know, will be a positive development in our community, and I want to thank town staff for finding a way to work with the developer to make this work. So. Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, none heard, we call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
None against? Motion is carried.
Okay, the Community Planning and Development Committee recommends that council provide objection to Crown Lands application 165203 located at 99 Court Reel, as the area is zone DSA, and as such, any development is not permitted.
Okay. Do we have a seconder? seconded by Councillor Williams. Any discussion?
That's back on the top end of Court Village.
Yes, we've had a number of applications for that area over the years, and it's a special development area that cannot be developed.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Any other comments? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None against? Motion's carried.
Okay, and the last one is the Community Development and Planning, Community Planning and Development Committee recommends that council provide no objection to Crown Lands application 165199 located at 199 Court Real Road on the condition that future development complies with the town's development regulations.
Okay, so moved. We have a seconder. Seconded by Councillor Williams. Any discussion? Okay, I got a couple of comments I'd like to make on this one. This is the third time that this applicant has come forward to acquire Crown lands in this particular area of town. Third time?
Well, it's a different piece of land.
Different piece of land, but it's in the same area. And, you know, I read through the application and the information that was provided. It's to build modular trailers and would require storage and building modular containers. My concern with all of that is the increased tractor-trailer traffic through that area of town. That's always been my concern up there. I know at one point council was denying any further, or not denying, we don't deny the Crown Lands applications, but raise our concerns about that issue itself, because you know, the increased traffic going up Court Real is going to disrupt that whole neighborhood again. As we've seen, it's actually gone down from over since we built Kellen Drive out to that area, and people have moved to other parts of town. I'm just concerned that the information that's provided, I'd like to get more information before I would support that on how much of an impact this will have on traffic to and from that area, and heavy traffic at that. That's not in the application or in what was provided. So for that reason, I have concerns over that, and I will not support that recommendation. Anybody else have any comments?
I wanted to just add, Mayor,
Deputy
Looks good.
Councillor Odell.
Okay, I know, I was just saying, is there an opportunity to do similar to what we did for F, with regards to having the stipulations written down as to what it is that we want to see to the applicant?
conditions.
Well, you
Conditions,
you couldn't
yeah.
actually ask for an amendment to the amendment to include certain conditions
Yeah.
in the motion.
Yeah.
You know, at this point, do you have any suggestions of what those conditions might be?
Well, again, with regards to limited traffic, what type of vehicles are going to be there, so I'm not sure if we, as a council can say, when we limit to a certain tonnage truck traveling that road, hours of operation, is it 24/7, is it going to be limited to, 6 o'clock in the evening, or we're going to see traffic there 24/7 o'clock, and things like that. So I'm not sure how you word that to say what it is that we want to see, but I mean, if someone's wanting to use a piece of property for a business entity, and we have concerns based on what we've seen in the past, is there ways where we can list those things
Okay.
that are concerns, I guess, so that in order for them to proceed, they would have to abide by what it is that our stipulations with regards to what it is they are doing.
Deputy Mayor, you had a comment?
I would like, I feel too that we don't have enough information, and I would like to make an amendment to the motion to defer it
Okay.
until the next meeting, so that we can get some further information on this request.
Okay, so so we're in discussion on this right now.
Yes.
So if you're asking for an amendment to defer this motion, then you have to have a seconder, and council would decide whether to defer or not. And if council doesn't defer, then we go back to the original motion.
So I'll make the motion to defer this until we get some,
Okay.
excuse me.
Okay, we have a motion to defer.
I had a question, actually, before you called for the motion, because we are governed by timelines with Crown Lands applications.
Right.
So deferring means to wait, to hold off, but I needed to make sure with the town engineer, if we defer this, Because remember, if we don't get an answer into Crown Lands in time,
Gotta reapply.
then it is, if we haven't provided
And
objection.
they could do what they want.
Right,
But,
so what's the timeline on this
Yeah,
one?
what's the timeline?
Council, the application was received on March 4th, so I think we have 30 days.
We got 30 days from March the 4th? I thought it was 21. 30 days. Okay, are we able to defer this? If we defer this, decide to defer this, can we get that information like sooner rather than later, like this week? Some of the concerns, like from the company and what their plans are? I mean, okay, CAO?
Where they moving, how many they're
We've had this
moving?
conversation a few times now regarding Crown Lands applications, that this is not a application for a permit.
Yeah, we don't
This is
approve.
This is a Crown Lands application. So council is to object or not object.
Yeah.
Not to determine what future development is or may be.
No, I understand that.
So what further information do you need with regarding to the application for Crown Lands?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so
Which
they,
is not the business.
issue with me, I understand that, anybody can apply for Crown Land, and, when it comes down to permitting or what the use will be, we would have to determine that and approve it, understand it. But I'm not sure if, you know, has the applicant realized, like, what information has he provided? Because why would he acquire land if he's not gonna be able to use it for his intended purpose? Because there's other pieces of land around town that may be just as appropriate or more appropriate than that area. That area is not serviced,
I
it's not
think we should
paved.
defer the motion, I mean, I got the motion on the floor to defer, I know it's a Crown Land application, but if we had some more information, even to support the Crown Land application.
Yeah,
And that's what I'm asking, what information are you gonna be looking for? Because
yeah, it's not the
if
use.
you're asking staff to defer this and go back for more information, we're going back to Crown Lands to say what information you provide.
Right.
We're not going to the applicant that's to Crown Lands.
Okay.
So what information does council want from Crown Lands to bring back to a special meeting to vote on it?
Okay,
So basically for us, it would be, yeah, okay, so we either approve or deny this application based on the Crown Lands, and if we wanna have further discussions with the applicant with regards to what it is that they wanna put there, then that becomes,
that's a different matter.
that's a different
That's a
matter.
different matter.
Where we would wanna sit down and discuss, okay,
Okay, so there was there wasn't a seconder for the amendment, correct? We didn't get a seconder for that?
No.
Okay, so no seconder? So, okay, that motion doesn't, to defer doesn't go ahead. Go back to the original motion, and we vote on the motion itself. So, I'll call
Want me
for,
to read it again?
you can read it again, sure.
The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends, no, my mic is not on, sorry. The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends that council provide no objection to Crown Lands application 165199 located at 199 Port Real Road on the condition that future development complies with the town's development regulation.
Okay, great. So we have a mover and a seconder. So we'll call for a vote. All in favor of the motion?
so I'm in favor.
Aye.
Yep.
Those against the motion? Made it, note that, four against, two, 3-4. Okay. All right, so moving right along, we'll move into protective services and Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs.
Thank you, Mayor. You might have to, I got a cold and I'm, using the hall right now because I'm having a fit of coughing. So if I break out in a cough, I might have to stop. So during the committee of the whole meeting, the Protective Services Committee, in the package, there was an update from the Community Safety Plan from Mr. Brian Davis. He's continuing to work on the plan, he's doing some outreach. He do have that paper copy survey here at the town hall. I encourage residents every month to come in and fill one out, I think it's important. It's a community safety plan, we have a lot of people in the community that, are concerned about public safety. So here's your opportunity to put your concerns on paper or online. And Mr. Brian Davis will be finished with this position and have a final report sometime in July or August. So it's important to, you know, to be engaged with this plan. We also, in our package, we talked about a discharge of fireworks bylaw. We've been talking about a fireworks bylaw for a long time, and we're at the stage tonight that I'll be bringing a recommendation forward, and we hope that, you know, the community is pleased with it, and it will improve our fireworks bylaw, you know, policy bylaw that's out there now. Want to talk about the RCMP report. I mention this every month. In February 2026, there were 490 calls. In February 2025, there was 457 calls. So the calls have gone up in 2026, and I still encourage people to call in if they see anything illegally happening in our community. We know that the temperatures are warming up, and we're going to be seeing more activity in the coming months. So if you see anything, call in and report it. You know, there's still some concerns in our community. Just recently, there was a fire between a residential area and the Labrador Correctional Center just a few nights ago. That was lit, that shouldn't have been lit, and there's things going on out there, and if you see anything, certainly report it. I encourage you to report it. Civic numbering, I still want to bring that up. It's still an issue. You can drive down any street and you'll see a house or two or three or four with no number on the houses. I think this is important for our first responders. So people, if you're out there and you're hearing this, get a number on your house. It's very important. Landlords, if you own apartments, get a number on the apartment building. And I ask you that you please accept my report as submitted.
Okay,
Second that.
so moved, seconded by Councillor Dyson. Any comments on the report? None heard. Okay, call for a vote. All in favor? Aye. None against? Carried. You have one recommendation, Deputy Mayor.
Yes, Mayor. Discharge of fireworks bylaw. The Protective Services Committee recommends that council approve the discharge of fireworks bylaw as presented in the council package.
Okay, so moved. We have a seconder. Seconded by Councillor Odell. Any comments? Discussion? None heard? Okay, we'll call for a vote. All in favor of the of the motion for discharge of fireworks bylaw? Aye. Okay, unanimous. Thank you. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Moving right along to municipal services and Councillor Williams. And I believe you have some recommendations this time around.
I am very excited, Mayor. Let's go to the report first, though. There's a lot of detail in this month's council package for municipal services. Much of it reflects ongoing project tracking rather than new issues. The key themes remain infrastructure pressure, transit challenges, and long-term planning needs. Engineering continues to manage multiple large projects with some delays and contractor challenges that are noted. Key concerns remain around the EV bus charging infrastructure, but I do note that the Royal Inn is back up to charging, and long-term landfill planning. Environmental services systems are operating well overall, with only minor technical issues being monitored. Overall, the focus continues to be balancing day-to-day operations with significant infrastructure pressures. Just a few points to note, though. We do have ongoing seasonal work that includes snow clearing, widening, and sanding of roads. I know we are in springtime season, so I would encourage residents to be patient with the clearing on the roads and bringing down the ice. Supporting other departments with equipment and maintenance needs, and landfill operations active, including covering garbage with sand. One thing I did want to acknowledge, I will acknowledge it when we go around to councillors, but the hard work done by the town for cleanup and support for the Labrador Winter Games. When I do look at the municipal services section, which stands out to me, that while operations are stable, we're clearly starting to see pressure points in our infrastructure and equipment. For example, we're continuing to deal with issues in the light-duty fleet, particularly with older vehicles waiting on parts, and have ongoing mechanical concerns like the CAT 950K loader. I had to write that down. Currently being troubleshooted. So while everything is functioning, it feels like we're operating in a space where demand is increasing, and we've been talking about that in the last few weeks. Infrastructure is still catching up. With the broader growth we're anticipating in this region, I think it's important that we start looking more proactively at what our operational capacity needs to be, including whether our current depot and facilities are going to meet those needs over the next few years. I would ask that you accept my report as read.
Okay, so moved, seconded by Councillor Dyson. Any comments, discussion?
Mayor, I want to
Deputy Mayor?
ask,
Yeah.
town engineer, a couple things. The charger for the bus that's being, do we have a date when that's gonna be completed?
The anticipated date, Councillor or Deputy Mayor, is the end of this month.
End of this month? The second thing I want to ask was that I ask every month, and I believe you might have an update closer that it's going to get done, is the left turn on the traffic lights.
The electrical is all set. I was talking to I'm in communication with the electrician just about daily. What he's trying to arrange now is for traffic control with a local contractor. That's a challenge for him. He's trying to, he's been turned down a number of times for different contractors, but there is one contractor that he's in communication with, and he's just trying to confirm a date with them. I know there was, with the snow clearing and with the roads and the weather and the cold weather and so on, he was just trying to get a good date. So hopefully, I thought he would have had it done early this week, yesterday or today, but in discussion with him, he said he just hasn't got that confirmation from the contractor with the traffic control. So hopefully in the very near future, we'll get that done. And as well, I was also talking to the supplier of the controller, the cabinet that the controller is housed in. And we should get that early next month, early in April. So we'll finally also have the headlights working. So, which is also a very, very good news revelation, I would say. So hopefully in a matter of a couple of weeks, we'll have everything up and running the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I'll just, I wasn't aware that who was installing it until yesterday when I actually ran into the individual and said, I'm having it up soon. I got everything ready. So, looking forward to having that fixed, yeah. Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, I had a couple more comments. Just wondering if I've received some complaints from people who are using the public transit. Have the town or you or anybody received any complaints from passengers that the app is not working? We talked about this months and months and months ago. And there's a long wait because of that on-demand app is not working. And I don't know, have you received any complaints through the town?
I haven't received any personally. I'm not sure if our manager of community development received any, or if our superintendent, he oversees the operation, if they've received any.
Who's responsible for the app?
That would be, I would think, Pantonium actually are the supplier of the app. So if there's any issues with the app, we would refer that back to the supplier for investigation.
So I think this was brought up like quite a few months ago, that there was issues with the app, and it hasn't been rectified at all. And from what I understand, the passengers are having to wait a long period, so it's interfering with their employment or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if it's I can't say for sure it's the app. Like, there could have been times when the bus was down because of charging issues or something like that. So
I would recommend that staff or a couple counselors go on that bus and do a run and see what it's all about, rather than, to get it firsthand, because there's problems.
Well, was it the mapping on the app was the issue? I know that was discussed initially.
That was a different issue.
That was a different issue?
So
Okay.
last week, there was an issue with the user saying that they could not access the app, but there were other users that had no issue with it. So it wasn't an app issue itself. It was the user with their app and however it's working, or their access or something.
Mhm.
Because they said the drivers, are talking to our provider as well, and they're saying like, it's working here in the office, it's working for the drivers, it's working on the outside end that they're looking for, it's working for multitude of riders, and then there might be one or two people that's having an issue with it. So it's more of an individual issue as opposed to an app issue.
But is the mapping an issue too, if they're having to wait a long time for?
Yeah.
It
I'll,
depends on where
have
they're
you-
located, because it does use Google Maps, or,
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the other one's called, Hero, or there's some other mapping type thing that they use here or something.
yeah, I
And
believe that was the
because
issue, yeah.
in new areas, that's not picked up on the, I'll say the satellite system. that
Well,
they
the
use
maps are not
outside.
updated. I had the same situation with my truck in my OnStar, and I called, had an issue. I was parked in my driveway, and they were trying to tell me I was in the woods.
Yeah.
But, because they hadn't been updated, so,
Is it possible to direct our drivers, like, I mean, they know the area, like, I'm sure like the back of their hand, would it be possible just to bypass
The app.
the app? Well, like I say, I know the app is needed for pickups so for ordering the bus or whatever it is.
It's a temporary solution to bypass it.
Yeah, that's what I
because
mean,
it-
it's like,
It creates a lot more work, so it's a temporary solution. So if you want to have it every day and you live in an area where it's not being picked up on the, like I said, the satellite app mapping stuff, then it's gonna be an issue.
But like other bus drivers just have a cell phone and people call and you record it or whatever, like why can't we bypass that app? Like,
Well,
in saying that, like Anderson Crescent and Oliver, none of them streets are on the map.
no.
So that's
Yeah.
not good.
The
well,
maps
that's
will be
something that
updated.
we'll have to contact with our GIS.
We
I'll
did
have our
in the
GIS
past
tech
few weeks,
contact
we-
maybe Google
Yeah,
or
yeah.
somebody and just see if we can get that updated.
We've had it connected in the past few weeks,
Yeah.
and that's gonna take time.
But another thing too, Deputy Mayor, is that if you do bypass the app and have people phone in with their cell phone, the purpose of the app is it optimizes the drop-offs and pickups. So if you got somebody going to the opposite side of the town, they're getting false information as to how long it's gonna take them to get there and how long it's gonna take others who are actually on the bus
Correct.
to get dropped off, so.
Go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
Just one more comment. I think the only way to rectify this problem is management needs to sit down with the drivers and figure this out, because the passengers are coming to us and saying like, oh, I had to wait, whatever. I can't answer that. I don't know. I'm not,
again,
right?
Right.
I think this goes back to complaint process. They shouldn't be going to you, that people should be going to
The
the
access
staff,
911.
either access E11 or calling the office.
We should be directing them to do so.
Yeah, but I'm representing the community as a counselor, the deputy mayor, or whatever. I was elected to represent the
Yes.
community, and if someone don't have a computer or whatever, and they're not calling in, then I got no problem with someone calling me and saying, look,
Fill out a
can you
form.
bring this forward, or fill out this, or whatever?
Yeah,
So,
that's fine.
I'm
but
just
I
gonna
think-
end debate on this one right now, but, we did say, and one last comment, we did say that, we would look at the bus a year later to
Yeah.
determine where we need to fine tune things, and this is something that probably warrants further discussion.
I believe,
And as
yes.
we move forward, we're not gonna get it perfect at first. We said we'd give it a year, get everything up and running, charging unit installed, and then we'll move from there, and we've got to make changes, we'll make changes. So just one final comment.
Yeah, I just want a
Councilor
quick
O'Dell.
question with regards to the app. Does the app give you the opportunity to text message, like, so if I have the app on my phone, can I, like, send a message to someone to receive it?
No.
No.
Okay.
No,
No.
the app is for booking rides.
Yeah, that's what I mean, like, it's a booking ride, but
Yeah.
it doesn't give you that option, like, to send a message to the terminal.
No, you can put a note on your,
Yeah, so
your
I know,
request.
exactly. So basically, if, that's probably a recommendation, is that if the addresses are not showing up, just put the note, say, 45 Anderson Street. So basically, if the driver's receiving that and it doesn't show up, and at least the note says 45, whatever, Anderson Street.
they'll know where to go.
They'll know where to
Yeah.
go, so basically, it's a simple solution, say, put the note in with your destination, or with your
Yeah.
pickup, and then we'll,
So that's an issue, I mean, we're gonna have to sit down in the next couple of months and talk about the bus and how it's been doing over the last year or so, and we have to make changes, we'll make changes.
okay.
So anyway, no further discussion? Okay, we'll move, to the, where are we? I was trying to win all over the place. Municipal Services, Councillor Williams.
Did we vote on the
I was
report?
looking at Councillor Dyson there.
We
thinking-
never voted on the report yet, Mayor, sorry.
Okay, all right, we'll move to, call for a vote on the report. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any against? None against, okay, carried. Your first recommendation, please.
Very exciting. The first recommendation is MYCW, the multi-year capital works 3-year allocation, 2023-2026 Schedule A amendment. Be it resolved that we, the town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay, accept cost-sharing funding as outlined in the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure Program Approval Letter dated March 6, 2026.
Okay, so moved.
Is that it?
No, that's not it.
Oh, I'm
There's
sorry.
more.
Okay, there's another paragraph
There
underneath there.
is.
It's not numbered. Okay, sorry about that.
This council agrees to provide the town share value of $1,204,738 in funding for this program and authorizes the mayor and town clerk to enter into a funding agreement with the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure on behalf of the town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay.
Okay, so moved. Do we have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Odell. Any discussion? Okay, none heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
None against. Motion's carried. Next one, please.
Grenfell Street reconstruction. Be it resolved that the town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay approves a project amendment request for a timeline extension and schedule change to be submitted to the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure in relation to the Grenfell Street reconstruction project.
Okay, so moved. Do we have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Rumbold. Any discussion?
Just a question, this work is gonna be done this summer though, correct? It was slotted for last year?
That's correct, Deputy Mayor. We have a commitment from the contractor. It was one of the conditions of the approval of the award that they were allowed to defer it until this summer, but they committed that they would get this completed this summer.
Great.
Okay.
So this is, just one question, is this in accordance with A, or A is completely different
Yes,
from A?
yeah, we had to pass that one first
To get there,
before we
okay,
can
yep,
move to the other ones.
absolutely.
Okay. All right, any other discussions? Okay, none heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
None against. Motion's carried. Okay, next one, please.
Number 3 for me, Riverbank Stabilization Phase 1. Be it resolved that the town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay approves a project amendment request for a timeline extension and schedule change be submitted to the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure in relation to the Riverbank Stabilization Phase 1 project.
Okay, so moved. Seconded by Councillor Winters. Discussion. Okay, none heard. Or
Just one
Councillor
thing.
Odell,
Yeah,
you got a
just one
comment?
question with regards to this river state. From my experience, short experience from here, is that this has been something that's been ongoing year after year after year. So is there any success with regarding getting a contractor to do this, or just basically
Nobody
go
wants to
to
bid on it.
tender and wait again and see what happens, or?
Yes, Councillor. Well, we did go to tender. We didn't receive any bids. And now I've had some meetings with the consultant and with TI, and an RFI has been finalized, or actually is yet to be is pretty well completed. It's sent to the consultant for review and for their review and any comments. So hopefully, once we get that RFI completed, we'll send that out to the plan takers who took out the tender documents the first time to see if they had any suggestions as to what could be done to improve the tender package that would make it more amenable to submit a tender.
Okay.
So hopefully in the near future that'll be fine. Hopefully within a couple of weeks we'll get probably next week is what I'm anticipating, that we'll get that RFI sent out. And hopefully, within a couple of weeks, we'll have the response from any interested contractors, and then we'll have the tender documents finalized for another tender call.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Okay, no, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
None against? Motion's carried. Final one, please.
My last one, Fire Hall Design. Be it resolved that the town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay approves a project amendment request for a timeline extension be submitted to the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure in relation to the Fire Hall Design.
Okay, so moved. Do we have a seconder? Second by Councillor Dyson. Any comments?
Just, can we
Deputy Mayor?
can we get an update on what we're talking about for a timeline, Mr. Dillon, for the design of the building?
The request, the RFP closed yesterday. I'm waiting on the documents to be forwarded to me. So hopefully we'll be in a position very soon to make a recommendation as to the award for the consultant to start the process to get this first phase of the design completed.
Okay. Any other comments? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
None against? Carried. Okay, moving right along. Community Services and Recreation. Councilor Winters.
All right, I'll give an overview of CSR Department's activities from the last report. Summary of operations, Rib Fest will be happening. We'll be taking the event will be taking place July 24th to 26th. I think it's named Ribs in the Big Land. YMCA annual campaign, the committee is close to reaching its annual goal, mainly from provincial donations that are shared among all NL YMCA. The committee will be hosting another Strong Kid event in June, indoor triathlon. It aims to generate more activity for the Y. The funds will be used to help the youth center start up, provide financial assistance for summer camp and membership. YMCA, CAC, and FAC committees. The FAC committee, at the time of the meeting, the claim was not ready. There was no presentation. The Y acknowledged our request for more detailed 5-year projects and aims to have it ready for next month's meeting. I believe, as previously, they were only doing 1 year at a time. Age-friendly, active community active action plan. Our program coordinator is working on the terms of reference to set up a meeting with community members. Sport Hall of Fame, we have contacted MHA's office for support to research people from Valley-Goose Bay that should have been admitted to the Provincial Sports Hall of Fame. We also have some funds to host an event this year as the Volunteer Appreciation Fund that has not been used since COVID-19 was pre-profiled for this event. Volunteer Appreciation, we will still host a Guns N' Hoses event and add a public skate if the schedule permits. In partnership with Community Development, we reached out to community organizations and highly volunteer contributions in our community during the Volunteer Awareness Week. No update with Labrador Regional Wellness Coalition. Healthy Waters Labrador. Healthy Waters Labrador hosted a board meeting on February 10th. CSR director attended on behalf of the town. There were several updates presented at the meeting. At this time, they only have 1 employee. The 2025 financial report was presented and a discussion about fundraising funds to cover the organization's operational costs took place. Healthy Waters is currently working on several projects: Birch Island Conservation Area, Birch Island Creek Rehabilitation, Northwest River Beach Project, Northwest River Wastewater Treatment, Tourism Working Group, Walking Trail with Sessashi Partnership, and Peace Rock Trail. Healthy Waters is planning to apply to the Conservative Corps, to the internship. They will be attending the Climate Action Conference and welcoming a volunteer to review our business management process. The board is planning their AGM for June 4th and will be followed up by a community event profile paddle from Muskrat Falls to Birch Island on June 6th, weather permitting. At the manager's meeting, he was asked, CSR director was asked to work on the following: budget note for Husky Park, budget note for biking trail bollards, and municipalities NL town presentation PowerPoint. Facilities and equipment, arena, daily cleanup, ice maintenance, repairs, operations are in place at the arena. With the holiday behind us, we have more activities at the arena. Ice plant continues to have issues with ice buildup in the condenser. We've been removing ice manually and regularly to prevent the shutdown. This has not impacted user groups. Computer system, we will continue to be in contact with Sinwin to finalize the scope of work and get work completed. Facility audit, I think this is a major one. The EJ Broomfield is aging, and as some sections of the building are approximately 55 years old, some major investments need to be completed to extend the life of the building. The last engineering audit completed on the building was completed in 2014, 12 years ago. Since an investment was made to improve the arena, however, the building continues to age and other infrastructure projects are needed for the town. In order to provide direction on the background information, the council regarding long-term strategic plan orientation of the EJ Broomfield Arena, we have received an estimate from the report author to update the study. Clyde's Room, it has been identified that Clyde's Room offers limited occupancy for conference right now at capacity of 84. There is some space that is underused on that floor. We are exploring how to use the space better and allow capacity to increase. The E.J. Brumfield Memorial Arena is the only multi-purpose venue in Central Labrador that can host conferences such as Expo Labrador. A better conference room setup would help improve the event. Our Montech is currently working to provide a rendering based on our conversations. When completed, there is an opportunity to apply for funding. Staffing and training, temporary assignments has ended, and personnel affected have returned to previous roles. We continue to send employees and attend safety training when we can. We are searching for nonviolent intervention and de-escalation training. Systems report, no reports this month. Upcoming events. March 27th to 29th, Rec Hockey End of Season Tournament. March 2nd, Goose Cup. April 4th, 5th, Randy Hansen Hockey Tournament. April 5th, Easter closure, I'm assuming. April 10th, 12th, Provincial Hockey. April 13th, Guns N' Hoses. April 15th, Trappers Cup. April 18th, Tentative Ice Show. April 19th, End of Ice Season. April 29th, 10 days later, start to the indoor soccer season. I have one recommendation, and please accept report as provided.
Okay, so moved to accept the report as provided. Do we have a seconder?
I'll second.
Seconded by Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs. Any discussion on the report?
CSR has been a busy department.
Yes, been busy.
Lots of work.
Yeah, for sure.
And I just want to note that when I do a report, it's not like other reports. I just like to give an update because this is the most visible and busiest community facility and department. So I'd just like to give a update on what they're doing and what's upcoming. That's the way I present the report. I do.
Thank you, Councillor. Okay, we'll call for a vote to support the recommendation. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, none against? Carried. One recommendation, sir?
Yeah. Pride in the Park flyby. Community Services and Recreation Committee recommends council provide a letter of support for a flyby over Queen of Peace Middle School by the 444 Squadron to kick off Pride Week on July 11th, 2026.
Okay, so moved. Do we have a seconder? Seconded by Deputy Mayor Compton Hobbs. Any discussion? Councillor Winters.
Yeah, I'd just like to note that this is basically our side of the approval process. There's three parts. There's the base, and then there's us, and there's our approval. So this is just doing our part in making sure that this happens.
Okay. Any other comments? None heard. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
None against? Carried. Okay, that's it. Moving right along. Okay, so approval of checks. I'm going to ask Councillor Rumble to bring forward a motion to approve the checks, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to make a motion that we accept checks for the month of March in the amount of $819,552.04.
Okay,
Second that.
so moved, seconded by Councillor Dyson. Any discussion? I've got one, check 30040. And that's in relation to a project that was completed in the town, and the project has not really been fully completed to the town's satisfaction. Was there any holdback on that, or we're just paying it outright? Because there's an extra cost associated with us having to go back and do the extra work.
I was busy printing off the agreement that we have to sign after the council meeting. What was the issue again?
It's the,
Black McDonald,
Yep.
yes. They neglected to submit the invoice directly to the town. They did submit it to the province. We did get the provincial share, but in order for us to pay, we need that invoice submitted to us.
okay.
So this now would
So
be
no,
their
the
share.
question I had was basically, so that was in relation to the traffic lights that we've had issues with.
That would be the traffic lights.
So, are we holding anything back until that work is completed?
There was no issue with what they had done. They did what was in the tender documents in the contract.
Okay.
Should tender what they're doing now then. Modification, I guess.
Yeah,
'cause
they
we're
completed-
having to pay extra to have that light installed properly.
This would be, it would be more of a design issue in my mind. It wouldn't be a contractor issue.
Okay, all right. Any other comments? Okay, none heard. Call for a vote to accept the checks. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None against? Checks accepted. Okay, Counselor's Forum. I'm gonna go down Counselor Rumble tonight.
I guess that's a hint to keep it short and sweet. Okay. Of course, I have my notes. I wanted to start with the home-based business approvals. We approved 2 home-based business here this evening, and I just want to again reiterate how the town encourages people to come in and complete a home-based business application. I've got it up on my screen right now. It's right there on our website. I personally feel like it's pretty straightforward, but we have staff here at the town office that will help anybody to complete these applications. So, you know, just encourage people to, if you want to operate and you need some help getting those applications in, by all means, contact our staff. They'll be happy to do everything they can to assist. Wanted to just speak to the investments that the federal government has committed to 5 Valley-Goose Bay, and how this is a really positive announcement for our community, especially a community that, I mean, has such a relationship with the military, and we remember when it was a base to a station to, you know, we've had different investments, different levels of activity on that base, but to know that, you know, when these announcements are made that 5 Wing is included is just a very positive initiative for our community. We have a conference coming up this week on Thursday and Friday. It's the Joint Professional Municipal Administrators and Municipalities Newfoundland and Labrador Regional Conference, and we will have 41 attendees here in Happy Valley-Goose Bay. So it's an opportunity for those of us on the 14th Council of Town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay to work with our colleagues from the North Coast and Lab West and other parts of Central Labrador. Some of the important topics that we'll be discussing will be waste management, the tourism accommodation tax, and housing partnerships. So it's going to be a great opportunity, and I look forward to us being able to bring our knowledge and our shared learning back to council. Wanted to mention that there is a job posting that has been shared on the town's social media. It's not a town job, but it's a job posting, and normally this isn't something I would mention, but this one is for a design approval tech with the government of Newfoundland and Labrador. We have expressed our frustration quite frequently as a council on holdups with Service NL and the need for things to go in a not a speedy, but in a well resolved, well communicated manner. So seeing this job posting for a Happy Valley-Goose Bay Central Labrador person to be able to take on that role, I think is a very positive thing for our community. Just 2 other things. Wanted to throw a bouquet to the organizers, participants of Kane's Quest, and again, the organizers and participants of the Labrador Winter Games, both which were very successful events that recently occurred in our community. And my final thing I wanted to say was to pass along condolences to both the Nunez and the Duffett families on the losses of their loved ones. Mr. Nunez was a volunteer in our community with the Knights of Columbus, and Ms. Duffett was a volunteer with the Connect Club and a former board member with Libra House. So they both made contributions to our community, and we offer condolences to their families. Their contributions will not be forgotten.
Hey, thank you, Councillor. Councillor Odell.
So very short and sweet for me. It was just
Microphone.
Stuff in front of me. Just a quick shout out to the Labrador Winter Games organizing team, volunteers and athletes. It was the most time I spent, I guess, at Labrador Winter Games because I volunteered for some of the events as social media. So I got to see firsthand what goes into the organization and putting things together with regards to volunteers, food courts, clean up, with town employees actually assisting with that as well. So, hats off to those people that was involved with the Labrador Winter Games. Just another checkpoint again, I like to bring it up monthly, is the YMCA. If summer's coming, if anybody's interested in getting themselves back into some type of shape, or want to, I guess, avail of the services within Happy Valley-Goose Bay, the YMCA is a great place. It has very many amenities. Just please check the website or drop in to discuss with regards to how you can avail of this with regards to payments, payment plans. They have all kinds of opportunities for everybody within this community to use it, and they'll find a way to help you out. So again, it's a great addition to this community. I must say it has a lot of amenities, so feel free to check it out and see what they can do with regards to helping you get a membership to avail of those services. Shout out again to the town employees for the road clearing during the plus 12-degree day we had. I must say it was a great job done. I know it might have took a lot longer for some residents to get the roads clear, but they have to appreciate that we only have so much equipment to do quite a number of streets. So the town employees were out for a number of hours to make sure that at least individuals' roads were cleared before the next morning. And again, there's only so many hours in a day to work. Those that never got their driveways done, I think it was taken care of the following morning when crews were back on site again. So I guess, some things happen. Apologies because you never had those things done first thing in the morning, but again, the town did everything in its power to make sure that the roads were cleared, driveways were done, and everybody was back to normal when we hit -20 the following day. Spring safety, spring's coming. People are still out on skidoos. So again, spring safety on the water, be careful. Mind where you're going. If you're not sure where you're going, ask somebody, or don't go at all. We don't need we would like to get through this spring without any issues or fatalities with regards to water and skidoos. So again, be very careful where you're going. Make sure the trails are marked. If they're not marked or you don't know where you're going, ask, and always be cognizant of this time of year. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Dyson, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to give a special shout out to Barry Keel. I think he might still be sleeping after the hours he punched for the Winter Games, but he was like an Energizer bunny going 24/7 with the stats. Great work by them all, of course, and the coordinators and the volunteers. A special shout out as well to Violence Prevention Labrador with their Labrador Cares campaign. Once again this year, a very positive part of the Labrador Winter Games. We also like to send our condolences to the Tuktashina family. And we have a lot of grieving families in Labrador. I think this past week there's been memorial services in every Labrador community on the North Coast and a lot of them on the South Coast. So I think people need to be reminded to check on their friends and check on their family. You don't know what people are going through, and keeping those families in your thoughts, of course. Looking forward to the Immigration Summit next week, hosted by the Labrador North Chamber of Commerce, and also looking forward to the upcoming Under-11 hockey tournament. And a special congratulations to the Under-18, Under-13 girls who came home with gold this week. So that's about it for me.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Winters.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, I'd like to reiterate Councillor O'Dell in thanking the staff of the depot. Plus 12-degree weather and the amount of snow we had, those are got to be trying times. 16-hour days, very little, let's say, not lacking of equipment, but not shortage of equipment, but not enough equipment, not enough staff for a one-day event like that. So hats off to them and Randy and his crew. Congratulations to the Labrador Winter Games board and staff on another successful games. Thanks to the staff, town staff for doing really good for the games. And again, you can't do these games without volunteers. Valley-Goose Bay has probably one of the best, like, number of volunteers, dedicated volunteers to make events like this happen. And one last thing, congratulations to Jamie Mullally, who won the Doug Redmond Award at the LSA Annual Awards this past month. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Williams, please.
I was going to say a little bit about the Labrador Winter Games too, and about the energy in our community this last week, and watching everything come together, last couple of weeks, watching everything to come together. But the one thing I want to say is I want to acknowledge our Special Olympians. Their participation, effort, and sportsmanship were something really special to witness, and something our community can be very proud of. And a special thank you to our very own Councillor Odell, who came out to help Jody, make sure Jody got beat Snowf, the bunny, during the Winter Games. It was really nice to see. I also want to recognize the work of our town staff. Events like this don't happen without a tremendous amount of behind-the-scenes efforts, from public works to facilities and all those supporting operations. Preparation, maintaining, and cleaning up during something of this scale doesn't go unnoticed. It was a strong reflection of what I think our community can do when we all come together, and I think it's important to acknowledge that.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. When you're almost last, everything is said. But the 5-wing announcement, again, is important to our community. It's certainly going to improve our economy, and looking forward to what's going to come up there. It's a huge announcement for Happy Valley-Goose Bay. Condolences to George Tukmashina's family and Mrs. Duffett and Carlos Nunes, pillars in our community, and condolences to the family for sure. Labrador Winter Games, huge success. Always, good to be involved and join in with the events and go watch the events and participate in closing and opening, and all the volunteers. I mean, that made that possible is unreal. And the organizing, the board, the board of directors and the organizing committees. So hats off to them for sure. It was a huge success. And Kane's Quest, same thing. Lots of work gone into that, and 2 great events in the winter in Labrador for sure. Public safety, I want to talk about it because you're seeing an increase now in people in the community, and I said it earlier and I'll say it again, encourage people to call in if they see anything illegally happening. And I'm just hoping that the government is listening, and that we need that public safety funds to assist us again this year. So hopefully that's going to come through for us. Long-term care facility is a huge issue in our community. Our patient ward at the hospital is full of people that could be transitioned into, I think the last number I had was 25. I want to bring it up because I know we don't have any decision-making with that, but we can certainly advocate as a council, the provincial government, and the past council met with the Labrador Grenfell Health and management, there's no reason that we can't continue to do that. And as it's the same as meeting with the RCMP. We're due again to meet with the RCMP. There's things going on in our community that we should have open communication about, and public safety is very important. And I think moving forward, we need to set up some of these meetings to discuss some of the issues that's going on in our community. And I'll leave it at that, Mayor.
Hey, thank you. So just for the interest of the public, I just want to touch on a few of the issues that we've been working on over the last month and advocating for on behalf of the town. With respect to housing public safety, we've had numerous meetings with various ministers with the province. February 23rd, we wrote to Minister Jody Wall, Minister of Housing, outlining serious concerns about deteriorating Newfoundland Labrador housing units in our community. Included some boarded up rapid housing initiative units that the town secured funding for and have only been occupied for the last year, and I guess 6 months they haven't been occupied because they've been boarded up. We met with the minister, along with Minister Leela Evans and MHA Russell, to discuss some of those concerns. as well as some concerns over public safety, and that some Newfoundland Labrador housing units may be linked to criminal activity. So, you know, we said in no uncertain terms to the minister that, you know, this is not acceptable. We want to work with them to improve Newfoundland Labrador housing units in our community. There's a certain standard that we would accept, that we should accept, and we shouldn't accept anything less. It was a productive meeting. We had a good discussion, very productive, and the minister has agreed to follow up and work with the town to address some of these concerns. We also submitted a response to the Independent Churchill River Review Committee, emphasizing that any future hydro developments must include strong municipal capacity, infrastructure investment, social supports, and meaningful engagement with our community. Because the lessons of Muskrat Falls, we cannot repeat those. Just no way. I could never ever support any project that doesn't give us, you know, tangible benefits, because we certainly didn't get that from Muskrat Falls. We're still feeling the brunt of that development. On March the 5th, we wrote to Premier Wakeham, stressing that the principles applied to the Beta Nord project, such as local benefits, strong planning, community capacity, must also guide future hydro development on Churchill River. So if it works for parts of the island in terms of oil development and benefits to adjacent communities, then we certainly should see the benefits from projects that are adjacent to our doorstep. We met with Minister Chris Tibbs to discuss the growing pressures facing our community. We highlighted the need for a capacity agreement, a new fire station, updated firefighting equipment, long-term drinking water security, and a plan for our landfill, which has a very limited lifespan. We also stressed the importance of early planning as five-wing modernization and potential hydro projects move forward. We welcome the federal government's announcement of more than $40 billion in new Arctic and northern investments, including major upgrades to five-wing Goose Bay. This historic commitment will bring jobs, stability, and new opportunities to our region. We will continue to advocate for better housing, improved housing, more housing, infrastructure, workforce development, and social supports needed so that we can prepare for this growth that's about to come. Everyone else has touched on the Labrador Winter Games. I mean, it was a tremendous success from all accounts. They continue to show the athleticism, the culture, and community spirit that makes Labrador a very so unique part of our province, and I would argue even unique in our country. Again, congratulations to all athletes, coaches, volunteers, and organizers for their dedication and for representing their respective communities with pride. You know, the events like that really brings us all together, and you know, it's very, very positive. And the CAO just put this in front of me, so we received a recognition, I guess, for our sponsorship to the Labrador Winter Games, for Labradorite sponsor, and that'll be put somewhere in the town office with the others that we've had over the years. Okay, thank you. See, so I also want to note that I was proud to participate and speak at the first ever Black History Month celebration in our community on February the 28th. I thought it was a very inspiring event for our community, filled with powerful presentations, music, dance, cultural expression. I want to thank the organizers, presenters, performers, and volunteers for creating a celebration that truly reflects the strength, heritage, and resilience of the Black community in our town. The flag entrance was especially meaningful. I believe there were 6 flags that that they brought into the hall I can't remember all the countries, but there was Nigeria was one of them, and Ghana. We've had them from different parts of the world, so it was great. And it basically highlighted the unity and pride and cultural richness that our community has. We are a diverse and multicultural community, and we're proud of that. Finally, just want to thank our town workers for for all the work that they've done over the last month, especially during the huge fluctuation in temperatures that caused a lot of problems in our community. Localized flooding, flash freezing, a lot of complaints, but I think overall most people realize the time of year we're in, and at the end of the day, some people who may have had some concerns, I'm sure they were quite pleased with the response that was provided. So with that, I will like to call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by, before we go, the CAO, you had your hand up. You want to make a few comments?
You've forgotten it.
I forgot you. Yeah, normally you don't say nothing.
I do have something to say this month, and I know several of the councillors have touched on already. The crews that were working on March 17th, and actually the days prior to that in preparation for that day, and especially on the day, did so much to make this event such less a severe impact that we had in the same situation almost to the year, last year, where everywhere around town pretty much was flooded and underwater. People had drain issues, they had leak issues, there was lift station issues, and we had a lot of water issues. And this year, they did a lot of work to prevent a lot of that, and it worked. And I would say to anybody, if you have an issue, if you have a problem, please reach out to the town through any of our formal channels or informal by going through council. Please do not use social media for complaints. Our employees are on social media as well, and they get very disheartened and discouraged when they see complaints made against them, especially when some of them are named. Like, that is improper, inappropriate, and unnecessary. If you have an issue, contact the town. If you have a compliment, please contact the town as well. We do have a lot of supporters out there, and I've talked to people in the past week who said, well, I didn't say anything, I didn't call in, but I was really appreciative of what the town workers did. So I'm like, well, put it out there. So, try to get some of that positivity out there. As Councillor Rumble often mentions, like, the positivity has to combat some of the negativity. And I feel for workers who get named out there in a disrespectful and discouraging manner. So please, to the residents of town, if you have an issue, you know where to find us. Contact us directly. Don't name the employees. Please praise them for what they do.
Okay, great. Any other comments from Kathy or Randy? Margaret, I see you nodding your head. Yes? No? Okay. All right, we'll call for adjournment.
So moved.
Moved by Councillor Compton Hobbs. Meeting is adjourned.